Have you ever really stopped to wonder why we buy the things we buy? I mean, we all like to think we're these rational beings, right? That we're sitting there with the spreadsheet, weighing features, calculating the best value for our money. But what if that's just a story we tell ourselves? What if the real reason we choose one brand over another has almost nothing to do with what it does, and everything to do with who it allows us to become? We're going to dive deep into this because we are about to uncover a fundamental truth about human desire that completely changes how we should think about marketing, value, and even our own identity.
This right here, this single idea turns decades of marketing wisdom completely on its head. It exposes what's called the utility trap, this really common but flawed assumption that the market is a logical place where the product with the best features always wins. It's like we think our customers are calculators, just crunching data to find the optimal choice. But the reality is, it's far more interesting and way more primal than that. We aren't just buying a tool, we are buying a signal. We're buying a piece of evidence to show the world who we are. And once you really get that, you can escape the trap for good.
So here's the game plan. First, we're going to break down the great utility trap and why it's such a dangerous place for any brand to be. Then we'll unpack the hidden system that's really driving desire, something called the status elevation loop. We'll ground all of this in the hard science of signaling, and then we'll translate it into a practical framework that can help turn a simple product from a tool into a powerful totem. And finally, we'll land on the big idea, how you can confirm your customer significance.
Okay, let's kick things off with a problem that I promise you plagues countless businesses. We're living in an age of what you could call functional parity. I mean, think about it. Most products in any given category do pretty much the same thing, and they do it really well. So what happens? Companies get stuck in this desperate race to be better, adding more features, more power, more speed, all because they believe a superior product is going to automatically win. But it almost never does.
And this is the central question, isn't it? It's a paradox we've all seen. The option that is logically superior, the one that's a better value on paper, just gets totally ignored. And at the same time, a competitor, maybe with fewer features and a much higher price tag, is building this fanatically loyal following. Why does that happen? Well, it's because the decision isn't being made on a spreadsheet. It's happening in a much older, much more powerful part of our brain.
And this is the absolute key to understanding everything. The primary job of our brain isn't just to calculate or survive. It's to navigate a super complex social world. Its core operating system is built around one thing: managing our reputation and broadcasting our status to others. Every choice we make, every action we take, and every single purchase is filtered through this lens. The brain is constantly, subconsciously asking, what does this choice say about me? How will this affect how other people see me? Logic comes second, signaling always comes first.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. You've got two completely different strategies. On the left, the logical pitch that's talking to the calculator brain. But think about it, best value is actually a low-status signal. It might tell the world that you're frugal, which isn't exactly an identity most people are dying to broadcast. But the identity signal on the right, that speaks directly to our inner signaling machine. It doesn't sell what the product does, it sells who you become when you own it. And that, right there, is the difference between competing on price and commanding a premium.
So if just selling utility is a trap, how in the world do you sell identity? Well, you do it with a very systematic psychological process. It's kind of like a hidden architecture of desire that the most successful brands in the world use, whether they even realize it or not. It's called the status elevation loop, and it's designed to completely bypass those functional feature-by-feature comparison.
This loop has 3 distinct psychological stages, and each stage is designed to anchor the product deeper and deeper into the buyer's own self-concept. It's a transformation, really, that turns a simple purchase into a real social and psychological upgrade. So let's break down each step.
Step 1, aspirational mapping is the foundation for everything. You don't start with your product's features, you have to start with your customers' ambitions. Who do they want to become? You know, you don't sell a premium car by talking about its horsepower. You sell the feeling of being a driver who values performance and prestige. You don't sell a complex piece of software to a manager, you sell them the organization of a high-growth executive. The product simply becomes the proof, the tangible evidence that they are who they want to be.
Okay, so once that aspiration is mapped, the customer needs a way to show it off, to broadcast it. And that is where the symbolic token comes in. This is a deliberately designed marker that lets the owner broadcast their new status to their peers. It could be the classic white color of Apple's early earbuds, or the red sole of a Louboutin shoe, that verified checkmark on social media, or even the unique sound of a high-performance engine. The customer isn't just buying the product, they're buying the social capital that this visible token gives them.
And this final step is maybe the most powerful of all: tribal affiliation. This taps into our deep biological need to belong. The purchase gets framed not as a transaction, but as an entry ticket into an exclusive club, an in-group of people who get it. By using this product, you're not just a customer anymore. You are one of us, the innovators, the creatives, the experts. This is where the product becomes what psychologists call the extended self. It's no longer just some object you own, it's part of your identity.
And this just nails the outcome. When this loop is complete, the whole dynamic changes. Your customer isn't comparing you to competitors anymore. The price isn't an expense, it's the cost of membership. The question in their mind shifts from, is this tool worth the money, to, do I want to be the kind of person who owns this? And that's how you create an identity premium, where loyalty is tied not to function, but to your customer's own ego.
Now, all of this might sound like a really clever marketing strategy, but it goes so much deeper than that. The status elevation loop works because it's capitalizing on these fundamental principles of evolutionary psychology. This isn't just about persuasion, it's about aligning with these deep-seated human drives that have been wired into our brains for millennia.
So the core science at play here is called signaling theory. Think about it. For early humans, social status wasn't a luxury. It was literally a matter of survival. Your reputation determined your access to resources, to mates, to protection. So we evolved to be incredibly sensitive to social signals, both sending them and receiving them. And that biological drive to broadcast our status and our worth is just as powerful today. It's just operating silently in the background at almost every decision we make.
And you can see these signals everywhere once you start looking. A luxury watch doesn't just tell time, it signals wealth and taste. An Ivy League degree signals intelligence and ambition. That verified badge on social media signals importance. An invite-only community membership signals exclusivity. And of course, a distinctively designed product signals that you belong to a very specific tribe. These are all high-status tokens that fulfill that deep biological need to broadcast our reputation.
This all leads to a really powerful psychological bias. You've probably heard of the endowment effect, the idea that we value things more just because we own them. Well, the endowment effect of identity is that on steroids. Once a customer truly believes a brand or a product is part of who they are, abandoning it feels like a personal failure. The psychological pain of losing that piece of their identity is massive, way more than any financial savings a competitor could ever offer. This creates an almost unbreakable bond.
Okay, so we've covered the theory and the psychology. We get the why. Now let's pivot to the how. How do you actually apply these principles and start that journey of transforming your product from just a simple tool into a powerful totem of identity?
Here's a 3-step path you can follow. First, you have to do an identity audit and be brutally honest with yourself. Right now, what signal does your product send? Does it say smart, frugal, innovative, aspirational? What is it? Next, you have to deliberately hard-code exclusive markers. Design those symbolic tokens we talked about, the badges, the communities, the unique design elements that let your customers broadcast their status. And finally, and this is probably the most important part, you have to shift the hero of your story. Your product is not the hero. Your company is not the hero. The customer's transformation is the hero.
This slide just boils it all down. This is the goal. You know you've made it when your customers stop describing your product in terms of what it does, and they start describing themselves in terms of who I am because of it. It's not, my phone takes great pictures, it's, I'm a creative person. It's not, this car is fast, it's, I'm a driver. That little shift in language from product-centric to identity-centric, that is the ultimate sign of success.
This brings us to our final and most essential insight that ties all of this together. We've gone through the utility trap, the mechanics of status, the science of signaling, but it all comes down to a single, profound truth about what it means to be human.
Every single purchase is a vote for who we want to be. Just let that sink in for a second. Every dollar you spend is like casting a ballot for a future version of yourself. A version who's more successful, more knowledgeable, more significant. It's the cold, hard logic of evolutionary signaling playing out in the very personal theater of our own ego.
So, this means your role has to change. The goal can't just be to sell a thing. The goal has to be to understand that desired future self your customer is voting for, and then to build a brand that helps them get there. You're no longer a vendor pushing a product. You become a partner in their journey of self-actualization. Your job is to confirm their significance.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. The most powerful brands don't need to push people through some complicated sales funnel. They have a gravitational pull. They pull people toward them because they offer something so much more valuable than features or a low price. They offer an identity.
They offer a chance for people to become more of who they already are and more of who they've always wanted to be.